Ahimsa. Ahimsa. What is ahimsa? Non-violence, non-injury is ahimsa. Again, this ahimsa is all the three levels: at the thought level, at the speech level, and at the body level. At all the levels, ahimsa has to be followed. To understand the importance of ahimsa, let us think in this way. What happens when we live a life of himsa? Himsa means hurting others, injuring others, harming others. It may be by thought, word, or deed. You will find that whenever you are hurting someone, you are in turn hurting yourself. When you have a thought to harm someone, or even you think something negative of someone, what happens to the mind? What is the state of the mind when you think something negative of someone? If you are sensitive enough, you will find the mind is disturbed. The moment you think anything negative of anyone, the mind is disturbed. So what happens? The moment you even think of doing himsa to someone, that himsa has given himsa to you. That very thought has harmed you. Who is now feeling that pain? You cannot hurt anyone without hurting yourself. It's a law. So at the thought level itself, it has created a disturbance. This is the adhyatmika level. What about adhibhautika level? Plenty of examples can be given. People who live in violence, live on violence. You look at their life story. All these terrorists, all these gangsters, look at their life. If you hurt others, others will always be hurting you also. As you sow, so shall you reap. It is a strict law of the universe. If you give peace to others, they will give peace to you. If you give harm to others, violence to others, if you hurt others, you will find that the entire world around you start becoming hostile. It's a law of this universe. Your own actions attract good environment. Your own actions attract unconducive, hostile environment also. So therefore, we have to be very careful with our thoughts and actions. What kind of environment are we attracting to ourselves? In this world, every kind of world is there. In this one world, there are so many worlds. What kind of world are you attracting towards yourself? The strict law is, if you give violence, you will create a violent world around you. If you give peace, you will create a peaceful world around you. You see all the saints and the sages, what kind of world they create? Even in the most disturbing situation, they create a world of peace, of harmony, of friendship, of brotherhood, of love, of service. You see a terrorist, what kind of world is he creating around? There's a very nice statement which I remember our former Prime Minister Vajpayee had made. He was addressing indirectly the terrorists. He's saying, you are all the children of this nation. Why should you do such acts for which you have to cover your face? All these terrorists, normally they cover their face. तुम सब इस देश के बच्चे हो, ऐसा काम क्यों करते हो जिसकी वजह से मुंह ढकना पड़े? You see their life. Just imagine, can such a person have a proper sleep in the night? The one who kills others, harms others, can he ever have proper sleep? Impossible, because all the time he is worried. Because he has harmed someone, the other person is waiting to take revenge. Just imagine. Absolute peacelessness. All these gangsters, etc., the criminals, look at their life. What kind of world are they attracting towards themselves? So this is at the Adi Bhautika level. So at the mind level you are disturbed, Adhyatmika level you are disturbed, at the external world also you are creating such hostile environment. What about Adi Daivika level? Oh, after death where will you go? You will be carrying the very same violent samskaras with you, harmful samskaras with you. Okay, after what about the next birth? Bhagavan says this person likes violence, so therefore let me put him in the wombs of violence. And what are those wombs? Lion, tiger, this, that, etc. Because human world is unfit for him. There is no much violence available. Later Bhagavan himself is going to say in this very same chapter, Kshipami ajasrama shubhan asurishveva yonishu. I throw them into the wombs of the demons. So therefore, we have no choice. If you want to lead a peaceful life, you have no choice but to be ahimsatmak. Live a life of non-violence. Now, a very interesting question which normally people raise. They say, Bhagavan is talking of ahimsa, but he is asking Arjuna to do only himsa. All the time, what does Krishna say? Tasmat yudhyasva bharata. Arjuna, therefore you should fight. Here Bhagavan is glorifying ahimsa. And what is throughout Bhagavad Gita, what is Bhagavan telling Arjuna? Fight. So what is this? So Krishna is a hypocrite. See, if you want to find fault with any scripture, you can find fault with anyone and with anything. But if you have an open mind, yes, we can help you. What actually decides whether an action is himsatmak or ahimsatmak? What decides is not the action, what decides is the intention. Whether an action is ahimsa or himsa, what decides? It is not the action, it is the intention. This we have to understand. The very same knife used by a doctor, can you call it himsa? The doctor is trying to save the life of the patient. Knife is used. He is cutting open the body also. He is literally injuring the physical body. Yes, but what is the intention? To save the life of a person, isn't it? Can you call it himsa? No, it is ahimsa. The very same knife is used by a robber or a thief to loot, to plunder, then that becomes himsa. The equipment is the same. Action also may be the same, but the intentions are different. One is trying to save the life, another is trying to take the life. So the most important thing here we have to keep in mind is intention. A soldier kills so many, persons. One soldier kills. The more he kills, the more medal he gets. Isn't it? What is he doing? Externally he is doing himsa only, but why is he doing? He is not doing out of revenge or hatred, he is just doing his duty. A mother hitting the child, externally it may appear to be himsa, but actually is it himsa? No. For the welfare of the child, the mother is hitting the child. So then that becomes ahimsa alone. So this one more aspect we have to keep in mind. Now another aspect. There are situations in life where you have to use violent methods to solve a problem. When you have given peace sufficient opportunity, and when the peaceful solutions don't bring out results, then you have all the right to use violent means to solve the problem. As they say, Sama, Dana, Bheda, Danda. The final is Danda. But in the beginning, all the peaceful method should be given an opportunity. In this Mahabharata war itself, you will find that Bhagavan himself went as a messenger. He tried to solve the problem, tried to bring peace, he tried to evade war, he could not. And finally, as a choiceless situation, they had to wage this war. So when such war is fought, you cannot call it Himsa, it will fall under Ahimsa alone. It is something like this body. You have a wound in the body and the wound is spreading. It has become septic. The wound is spreading. You tried all the methods to heal the wound. It doesn't happen. Then what do you do? And that wound is spreading and it has become a threat to the life. What do? We cut off that limb, isn't it? It is a violent means. But what is the purpose? To protect the totality, destruction. To protect the samashti, destruction of the vyashti is allowed. So from all these standpoints, you have to analyze the situation. For the protection of the totality, destruction of the individuality cannot be considered Himsa. That is why capital punishment is allowed. It is not Himsa. There is a person who is creating problem for everyone and he cannot be corrected also. Such a person, so what is the punishment given? Capital punishment. So all these factors have to be kept in mind when you have to take decision whether my action is of the nature of Himsa or Ahimsa. In Sanskrit there is a verse, to protect the family you can sacrifice the individual. To protect a village you can sacrifice the family. And to protect the nation you can sacrifice the village. Always for the protection of the samashti, destruction of vyashti is acceptable. It is not considered Himsa. Again, in our scriptures, it is never said that you should never fight against injustice. Very many times what happens in the name of Ahimsa, you accept injustice and you become a doormat. In the name of Ahimsa, this also is wrong. Nothing wrong in protesting, in resisting injustice. In fact, you must do it. But then, the one thing to be kept in mind is, when you are resisting, when you are protesting, there is no hatred, there is no ill feeling, there is no sense of revenge. If that is the case, then that also will be considered as Ahimsa. Though externally you are protesting, you are resisting, you are doing everything. The best example is Mahatma Gandhi. He fought the freedom war, the freedom struggle. How did he fight? With the weapon of Ahimsa. He fought injustice, isn't it? Nowhere it is said you have to just forbear injustice. No. You must protest. In fact, Mahatma Gandhi made freedom struggle his spiritual sadhana. That is the greatness of Mahatma Gandhi. It was a revolution. He made Ahimsa the means to fight. But yes, the most important thing is that fight should not be with any evil intention, hatred, revenge, etc. And this is exactly what Bhagavan also tells Arjuna. Arjuna, you must fight, but let not that fight be out of revenge. May you not fight with any kind of ill feeling, any kind of hatred feeling. Do it as your duty. I am supposed to do this, therefore I am doing. In that case, even the terrible act of killing someone cannot be called as Himsa. It falls under the category of Ahimsa alone.